Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at crude oil futures today. Crude oil, we had a nice setup. We are in confluence on the dailies, the 240s and the 30s. This is our daily chart of crude oil. You can see that we're in a downtrend. We broke the previous pivot low here, lower high, on down to a lower low. Bearish momentum. Moving averages all stacked to the downside, and crude made a pretty sizable push down today. Now we hit significantly undervalued, so probably we won't be looking for anything short here in the afternoon, but nice big push down early on in crude. That's our daily chart. Here's our 240-minute chart, and you can see on the 240-minute chart, same thing. We broke below this previous pivot low, put in a lower high, and headed on down. Moving averages all to the downside, momentum all to the downside, and again, crude made a really bearish move today. Here's our 30-minute crude. You can see, same thing, we're in a downtrend. All the moving averages stacked to the downside, bearish momentum all morning, and we started trading right in here this morning. And you can see we were already in a downtrend, triggered a bear flag. We were bearish on the 240s, bearish on the daily charts. Those are times that it's reasonable to expect some larger moves, and we got that. That bear flag triggered at 68.75, and crude went as low as 65.72 today. So $3,000 per contract. Now you probably weren't trading that whole thing by any means, but $3,000 per contract worth of movement to the downside. And again, days like this when we're in confluence with the daily, the 240s and the 30s, are the days that it's reasonable to expect some larger moves. Now, it's not guaranteed. We're not going to, there's nothing that guarantees we're going to get a good move in that direction for the day, but it's statistically we get bigger moves on days when we're in confluence with everything. And today we had multiple ways that we could have traded crude. We had some nice power line breaks today in crude. This is a chart I don't really talk about too much because I trade this chart separately, and I trade this in a certain way. And this chart gives us some really high probability trades based off of MQ power lines. This is our MQ power line indicator, and we're just looking for breaks of support and resistance off of our MQ power lines. And you can see this power line went back all the way early into the morning, and crude was just kind of chopping, and then we got in confluence on some of our shorter time frames. This yellow line is the 5 EMA from the 5-minute chart. This red line is the 18 EMA from the 5-minute chart. This cyan line is an 8 EMA from a 15-minute chart, and this dark cyan is a 8 EMA from a 30-minute chart. So it kind of gives us an idea of what our higher time frames are doing. And then we look for our bias, which we established already because we had a bearish daily chart, bearish 240-minute chart, and a bearish 30-minute chart. Now we're on the short side of our shorter time frame charts, and we broke resistance or support right here. We were in a trend. See, we were making lower highs, lower lows on the Renko chart, which is what we're watching. So we want to make sure that we take a breakout in the direction of the trend. And we want to make sure that we have some kind of a decent momentum reset. And you can see that we pushed down, pushed under the 25, pulled back to the 25, triggered the wick bar right there, and then we broke support right there with a momentum reset. And this, depending on how you traded this, could have at least hit your first $100 target. Should have got $200 at least off of that. And then we had another one right here. We had a little double power line, which I like even better, is when we get a double power line. Same thing in a trend, making lower highs, lower lows. Got the momentum reset, broke under the power line, and that was good for another couple $100 on that push down. In fact, actually, it's good for $300 on that push down, because that power line actually triggered at 67.68, and we got as low as 67.31. So potential to grab $300 per contract on that move there. And then we got one more here this morning, right here. So same thing, and it trend is down, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Momentum reset right here. Everything's in alignment. Our 5 EMA from the 5-minute chart, 18 EMA from the 5-minute chart, 8 EMA from the 15-minute chart, and 8 EMA from the 30-minute chart. So we're on the right side of everything. Nice momentum reset. And again, depending on how you're trading this, opportunity to get another $300 per contract. So like I said, we don't take a lot of these trades. Let me say we don't get a lot of these trades, but when they set up the way we want to trade them, they're very high probability trades. We hit at least our first $100 target most of the time, and quite often we get more than $100 per trade. So some nice opportunities on high probability trades from power lines today.